What's going on, y'all? Today we got stunning report comes out surrounding the collapse between Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, man. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. We want you guys to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, today we're going to be talking about this situation between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. As y'all know, when the Brooklyn Nets were originally formed, we're talking about the trio of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. Most people in the NBA and NBA fans were saying that this is probably the scariest offensive trio we've ever seen in the NBA. We had never seen three offensive powerhouses like that on one team. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And in fact, that Brooklyn Nets big three at one point were averaging over 75 points together. Three guys were generating 75 points as a team. To me, it was absolutely scary. At the time, I was supporting the Clippers, and I'm like, man, you know, I remember the first time the Clippers played against the Brooklyn Nets, and I was like, they played them perfectly, and then with 2-3 minutes left in the game, it was just like Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and the game was over. Like I'm like, there's no way you can guard this, right? How do you stop these three guys on one team? But one of the things I thought about that team at the time was I had a feeling that something was just going to derail them. Something ultimately was going to derail them, and it was going to be something that came from within, an internal issue. And then as it turned out, the Brooklyn Nets absolutely imploded. They went from an organization that had Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant to now being an organization left with Ben Simmons. That's how far the Brooklyn Nets have fallen. As y'all know,
that's crazy.
At the trade deadline, we saw some pretty serious moves.
Like
we saw Kyrie Irving.
That was fast, you know. That was fast. Like 2 weeks changed a lot, man.
Go from the Brooklyn Nets to go join Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. In Dallas there to go play with them. And then the biggest move of them all was seeing Kevin Durant get traded from the Brooklyn Nets, the same Brooklyn Nets, to go join the Phoenix Suns. So over the weekend, there was this big marquee game, which was one of the best games this entire season. And everyone going into that game was anticipating how Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were going to interact. But just because the game, but as a matter of fact, at the end of it, the game ended up being so good and so action packed, and it was an absolute thriller that came all the way down to the wire, that we ended up spending more time talking about the game itself than the backstory of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But just yesterday, Brian Windhorst of ESPN revealed that, in fact, the relationship of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is no longer a relationship anymore. But before we get into his comments, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing you're paying to find when you decided to text? And funny enough, app was competitive. And remember to you, Flash Dreams channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play what the reporting that Brian Windhorst had to make about, you know, the relationship, or the collapse rather, between Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to what Brian had to say here.
I want to switch gears here for a second. KD and Kyrie facing for the first time since leaving Brooklyn. What'd you see from them at the game?
Nothing. There was nothing between them. And I know KD said last week that, you know, they haven't talked. Well, I can tell you they still haven't talked. And they sure as heck didn't talk during the game yesterday. And look, there were times when the cameras were not on national TV, when they were in break, where they were standing a foot from each other and they were not looking at each other. The game ended and you had Kevin Durant hugging Markieff Morris, his Nets teammate from a couple of weeks ago, and not even looking to Kyrie Irving in a very hot-tempered game. Look, you had there's these two teams. Durant and Kyrie are new to them, but this is bad blood from the playoffs last year. You got Booker going up into Luka Doncic's chest in the closing moments of that game, shot making down the stretch. There's a lot going on, and KD and Kyrie, nothing there. And I got to say, when you take a step back, it's fascinating because these two guys changed the entire NBA less than a month ago. They were trying to win the Eastern Conference. They were, tied together in this marriage that defined a huge section of their careers. And here they are just a couple of weeks later acting as if they don't know each other. Like, there's no doubt to me that that there is going to be a rift here and a divide that is probably going to, linger for many years into the future.
So you heard what Brian...
Hold on, let me say this, though. Maybe this is for the best, though, y'all. Maybe it's for the best. We need a little bad blood around in A. I ain't gonna lie, we need a little bad blood all around. You know what I'm saying? Just for some more competition, man. Just for some more entertainment, man. Have some real defense. You know what I'm saying? Real game. Come on, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this might be what we need in the NBA. You know? Let these superstars feel with each other. They start to hate each other. I want that. Yes. Now they're gonna go at each other for real now. Like, I think want that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It might be a good thing.
Windhorst had to say there. Basically, he said that these two guys didn't even interact with one another. And as he was kind of giving that report, it reminded me of the time Shaq and Kobe had their falling out. If you guys remember, a lot of people were saying that Kobe Bryant ran Shaq out of L.A. Ultimately, he ended up being traded to the Miami Heat to go play with Dwayne Wade and those guys. And the very first game, the very, very, very first game that we got to see Shaq return to L.A. to face Kobe Bryant in the tip-off leading off to the game, Shaq and Kobe didn't greet each other. Shaq greeted every other player, and I think they just walked past each other and the game started. So it wasn't the first time I've seen something like that. To harp back to what Brian Windhorst was saying about, how they were within feet of each other and they didn't interact with each other. So that's not the first time I've seen something like that. But as it pertains to this particular situation here, I think that if we look at it from Kevin Durant's standpoint, and this is just somebody looking at this situation from afar, I don't know KD, I don't know anyone close to him, I'm just looking at it like the rest of you guys. If you listen to what KD said in the presser when he was first introduced as a Phoenix Sun, he lamented the fact that he wished that the Brooklyn Nets would have been able to see that season through. He wanted them to stick together as a group, play it out, and see where all of the chips would fall. And he said he was disappointed that he didn't get an opportunity to finish off what they started. So it would only be natural that he would kind of hold some feeling, harbor some negative feelings towards Kyrie, given the fact that, once Kyrie Irving decided that he no longer wanted to be there, that was it. There was no, okay, let's go out there and compete for a championship. It just wasn't going to happen. So you can understand that from Kevin Durant's perspective. From the perspective of Kyrie Irving, I can also understand why Kyrie wanted to get the hell up out of there. It was an absolute mess. You had an owner that was throwing you under the bus whenever he had an opportunity. You had the organization who wasn't really respecting you. So if I'm Kyrie Irving, why would I want to be there just because for my friend? I mean, that's not enough. That's not enough because my peace of mind is at jeopardy here. So I can understand why Kyrie wanted to leave. To me, I just think that it was something that was probably bound to happen. And I think it's something that these guys are going to get over. Because I don't think it was nowhere near as messy as the breakup between Shaq and Kobe. But these are just my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys is
I hope they don't get over it over on the court at least, Off the court, fine. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cool, but on the court, man, I ain't gonna lie. I need that bad blood there, man. For real. It's gonna make the games 100 times more entertaining. But that's the end of this one, y'all. If you guys enjoyed, y'all know what to do. Make sure you click on the last reaction on your screen right now. Turn on post notifications. Links in the description, man. Subscribe. And I'm out of here, man. Bye.